BeerJitsu, episode 1, part 2.
Maruno.
What are we going to talk about? You guys want to talk about leg locks? What do you guys want to talk about?
Beer or jitsu?
Right.
Yeah. Beer or jitsu.
Yeah.
Do you guys still, how's your diet when you guys train? Are you guys like the acai type or?
No, it's just chips and, chips and hot dogs, hamburgers, everything. It's just everything wrong.
My kind of dude.
Yeah.
He's the black belt.
That's the ironic thing about that, dude.
Right?
I'm like with my waters and 0 calorie shit.
I just bring this to seem healthy, you know?
Right. Yeah. That's his diabetes in a bottle.
There you go.
The JJ Black Belt. How about you, bro?
Dude, I'm actually eating cleaner these days, but not by choice. You know, I've had some like fucked up gut issues, so like cut down all the. I was with Chris, dude. I was all about the diet sodas and.
On the way here?
No, just before I got this gut problem. And, now it's I've been cleaner. I've been following this book by a guy named Stephen Gundry, the doctor, and it's about lectins and shit. But yeah, just eating cleaner pretty much, just avoiding a lot of the foods that used to give me upset stomach, and yeah.
You know what I do is 4 days out of the week, no carbs. Mm-hmm. 2 days out of the week, no carbs and just plant-based.
Nice.
It's just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's when I fuck up.
Yeah.
That's when I eat like crazy, dude.
But see, that's the sad part. Well, it's better now because like hanging out with Sam, like we were doing beer all the time. And then now, like, you know, because like the change in his diet, we haven't had a beer in what?
I'll get back to it. Yeah, by the way.
But I mean, it's been good. You know, it hasn't been like, you know, we're slamming them all the time or whatever. Now it's just coffee. So it's kind of like trickling in a little bit to like my everyday life, where I'm starting to watch what, like, you know, now I'm drinking a Coke, but I'm starting to get like do you remember that thing? Like he had the bubblies, the soda.
Sure.
So now I started to go to Whole Foods. Now I'm starting to like, you know, look at the sugarless stuff a little bit more, you know, because I got up to 230, bro. I mean, that's
how much you weigh now.
I'm about 213. So I mean, that's
good
a huge
for you,
difference, you know. But yeah, and you can feel in the way you move, but that's changing a little bit. But overall, I mean, I'm still eating like, you know. I'm doing like the double shifts at a post house, so
you're on a Skittles and Gatorade diet sometimes, huh?
Yeah.
But for Chris though, like the reason I don't think he's like so unhealthy is because he eats like a bird, right? So I mean, no matter what,
lots of portions, small portions
for sure. Like I'll never eat like a big, you know, I'll just never sit down and have like a huge steak and potatoes. It's never been me. I'll have like just, you know, every time we've been out, you know, even when you guys went to that
Brent's Deli,
right?
I mean, oh yeah.
You
the
guys,
onion roll.
You guys went ham. I hardly ate anything. Yeah.
I went pastrami.
No,
dude. I was eating like a hostage then, dude.
I know, dude. You put it down. You put it down. Both of you guys did.
Yeah, man, definitely. I'm so excited that we're doing this pod.
Yeah.
It's for us, for you, who's listening and watching, and it's kind of like a relaxed hang.
Right.
You know?
Sure.
But real quick, maybe in like a minute, if you guys could cap, like, how did you get into jiu-jitsu?
Pretty much, like I said, just getting that panic feeling on the ground once you're there. I had no way out. I was panicking.
Let's recap as if you didn't tell the story.
Okay.
In a minute.
So I started Kempo Jiu-Jitsu Ryu.
Sure.
Got caught up on the ground, side control, couldn't get out, was panicking, and I was waiting on the mercy of my instructor to get up, and he didn't. He tortured me until, you know, like time was up, and that was just the worst feeling. So basically, I'm like, I got to figure out how to get out of here, and so I spent the next 14 years or so, you know, doing that. And
then because from Kenpo Jiu-Jitsu, you moved to a different, or you were living in the Valley?
We moved to the Valley, and the commute was just too long. And luckily, we found John Jack's place, like right down the road. Mothership.
I have a story to add to that. Actually, just the other day, I mean, Chris, seeing how Chris, like back in the days, he's one of the few. They all have a story. All the black belts have a story.
Sure.
And like, there's always what could have beens, and I just like. Chris was fortunate enough to meet someone like that to get to, you know, where he is. And yesterday I went to a chiropractor down in the Valley for my neck, and he was like, you know, he asked the same old questions about jiu-jitsu, and I was like, okay, so did you train? He's like, back in '95, he trained at a place called House of Champions. I don't know if you've heard of that place.
Yeah, Benny the Jet Ortiz.
Right. So House of Champions, and he was like, So I took a jits, and I was like, why? And he looks pretty fit. And so I was like, you still training? He's like, no, I stopped at 95. And I said, why? And he showed me his arm. It was fucking big old gash down his arm. I was like, well, he's like, someone armbarred me and broke my arm. I was like, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. And then like, so why didn't you go back? He's like, well, I really didn't feel jiu-jitsu. I was like, why? And he's like, well, the person that broke my arm was my instructor.
Oh, dude. Come on.
Not cool.
So when I heard that, I was like, oh man. So like when I just heard Chris's story, I was like, oh, so I just saw that doctor pop up, and I was like, oh, he got the short end of the stick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about luck of the draw, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
So in 60 seconds, about you, how'd you get into martial arts and found your way to JJ's?
Like a lot of the UFC fanboys, watched the Royce Gracie days, and in Korea, I was in Korea, found an MMA gym. Signed up, I've always wanted to do it, and what better time? And I was just down the street from my house, walking distance, walked on over, and signed up a class, and I was hooked. Like the nogi, the jiu-jitsu aspect of MMA was really appealing to me, because I didn't like being punched in the face. But that's what happened. Then I came back to America a few years later, and found John Jacques, and just fell in love with jiu-jitsu all over again. Like, because it's in the gi jiu-jitsu this time. And when you're I keep going on, but
No, keep going.
It's when you're at a school like John Jacques, you feel like you're in it feels like you're in a nice place. Like, it's supposed to,
it's like family.
Yeah, and then the vibe that you get there, it's like I don't want to say resort, because it's not really, but it's really luxurious compared to the place where I trained in Korea. I mean, not knock on the place. I love the aesthetic of the hip hop and like all those high school dropouts. All those guys tatted up from head to toe, and it was pretty cool. But this was kind of something different, and it felt more therapeutic when I was there. When I walked in, stepped into the doors of the John Jacques Academy, it's like, wow. Like,
I've always used this analogy, and I'll give my description of how I got into martial arts. Other schools like 10th Planet are like Ferraris and Lamborghinis. John Donner, I can imagine, is like a Bugatti. Right. Just speedsters. John Jacques feels like the step above a Mercedes, a Maybach. It's got the performance, but this is a luxury meets performance. Yeah. There's that vibe. And I've made more friends at JJ's out of all the schools. Ultimately,
What's crazy about JJ's is, if you've ever gone to another jiu-jitsu school and you see how they run their classes, not to not knock on any school,
right.
Sure,
but some
but
schools
your experience with JJ's,
some schools are more drill oriented. Like, it's just so hardcore. Everyone's, because you understand the competitive mindset.
Cabrina,
but you go to John Jacques, and it's like it's just everything feels like calm and just
it is a mellow vibe.
Mellow vibe.
Yeah.
But that doesn't say that all the guys are legit. They're legit killers, and they're like it's amazing like how you don't necessarily have to have that kind of environment, like this hardcore environment,
right,
where you have the militant environment to actually excel at jiu-jitsu.
So for you listening or watching, that's kind of like the math. Our minds are mathly programmed, right? Mm-hmm. Very chill. It's still intense when it comes to training and rolling, right, but it's not the uber militant type. Which there's nothing wrong if you train at Team Checkmat, Atos, or Cabrina, right? That's their math. Right. They produce champions too. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but for me, I mainly come from a striking background. Fought some smoker fights, won them. Did Muay Thai, trained at the Muay Thai Academy in Sidiotong. I come from the JKD generation, where it's like Jeet Kune Do, trapping. So being half Filipino, I got big into the knife and stick. I love weaponry. Still very big into weaponry. But I needed to learn jiu-jitsu because it's if you're a martial arts fan in general, if you don't train on any sort of ground game, then you're not a fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're just stuck. It's like those golden era heads in hip hop. Mm-hmm. Like, you like Tribe Called Quest, that's so cool, but I can understand that you can knock some of the new stuff. But dude, you got to listen to some of the new stuff.
Right. It's a fight IQ. It's to appreciate the jiu-jitsu aspect.
Sure.
You go to like a UFC tournament and you see people like yelling when they're on the ground. It's so frustrating.
It is very frustrating. That's the worst.
And I've been to competitions where people are like, oh, these guys suck. They're just humping each other. Yeah. And I mean, yeah. Yeah, so like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the purpose of jiu-jitsu for me, from what I've seen from you guys, it's a fast evolution. That's how I see jiu-jitsu. And like the great thing about jiu-jitsu is if you are stuck, you will be an old brand. But like this dude, killer leg locks.
Yep.
I mean, everything. Killer everything but killer leg locks. With you, your positional control, north-south galore, your sweeps, those alligator-looking sweeps. Felt like a fucking crocodile once in a while.
It's named the Chris Sweep, by the way.
Chris Sweep at the school. That's right. You know, and there's the Julio Sweep known at the Jean-Jacques Academy. There's the Chris Sweep too. And then I think Dexter may have inherited.
Dexter has his own version, which is really great because, I mean, he doesn't go over the shoulder. He goes over the opposite shoulder, which I don't know how he does. It's
right.
amazing.
Shout out to Dexter Punsalan. He's a purple belt.
Purple
belt. Yep.
Killer, man.
He was
killing
it.
Also chill kill, by the way.
Yes. Which I will introduce my monikers and nicknames for them. Is there still a red light, by the way? Yes.
Flashing.
We're still recording. Hallelujah.
All right.
Do you guys still see sound waves on that end right there?
Yes.
Dude.
Oh, man. What a pod. We're like 3 Howard Sterns on this motherfucker right here.
Right. Yeah.
Damn. Not that I look like a 6'4" Jew, but... But anyways, yeah. I'm going to start with him.
You got it.
Because I got a controversial nickname for this motherfucker right
I
here.
want to hear it. What is it?
At first, I was like, he's like Megatron, dude.
Megatron?
You think he's like a fellow robot, but he'll fucking kill you, dude.
No.
Or a Decepticon.
Decepticon?
So it's not as specific, but he's a Decepticon, dude. He's a destroyer, dude.
What was the one? We were at some restaurant, and who called you? Someone called him Fresh Face.
What is that?
That was going to be his nickname, right?
Where did I hear that? We talked about this, but we heard this somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know where we were. It was like some waitress came up to him, like something, called him Fresh Face or something like that. I'm like, oh, dude, that's your nickname.
Like, was that racist?
Did she go
fresh off the boat?
Fresh face.
Fresh off the boat.
Would like it. Yeah.
I don't know yet. That could work. Fresh face could work.
Well, I like Decepticon too, though.
But I like Decepticon.
Yeah.
It's not a name. It's who you are.
There's like that air of mystery about it too.
Like, you know how
yeah.
Megatron and Starscreamer and Starscream would be like, oh, let's talk to Optimus Prime and fuck him in the ass. That's him, dude. I'll roll with you.
Robot.
Right.
But by the way, Sam taught me like this TP to the ribs.
Ooh, that's horrible. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I was rolling with a wrestler. Like, he's only trained like a month, but trained in wrestling for 5 years. Skinny. So he showed it to me at Yoshi's, and we will elaborate who Yoshi is. We need to do like a segment on
You gotta
Yoshi.
bring Yoshi in, dude.
Totally.
Yeah.
Gotta bring Yoshi in.
Totally.
Legend.
And he taught me how to do the TP on the rib crush.
Isn't that horrible?
And the guy threw up right next to because I didn't have any control. I'm a white belt.
Thank God it came up that end. You know, there are videos online where it goes the other way.
He
Are you
tapped
serious?
with both hands, ran to the edge of the mat,
And
started throwing up.
Oh man.
Because it was a little bit below the ribs. That's why he's a Decepticon.
Well,
dude.
you did it right. Yeah, that's a good part.
Or I sloppily destroyed his ribs. Chris Ariola, my nickname that I gave him
Love it.
is Chill Kill. Now, me and Sam were talking about this. It's also a style, right? It's confident, brolicky destroyers that incrementally will submit you, if that makes sense. Fair enough?
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Perfect.
So Chris is Mr. Chill Kill himself. I'm going to put like lower thirds.
OG chill kill.
OG.
Yeah.
Thank you.
OG Chill Kill.
Because actually, every time after you use that moniker, every other chill kill is just another chill kill that reminds me of Chris. Chris is the OG
Right.
Chris. Yeah, OG chill kill. Yeah.
Well, it's a verb and a noun, but it's also his name.
He got me the nicest bracelet too, so it's Chill Kill on it. It was like the
Oh, cool.
It was really cool, man. Yeah,
Cool.
I still have that. Yeah.
Did you like knead it for him in the
dude.
spirit of like a friendship band?
It's a friendship band.
You want to know how it's glistening?
You got
All jokes.
effeminate colors like pink and neon green, like 80s spirited.
Oh shit!
For sure.
What's your favorite color?
Yeah. So one topic for this pod. So we'll do a short pod, but like buffet filled
Right.
reaction to it. For the white belt, as I respectfully look up to these guys who train me, teach me, and don't hurt me or injure me, which is great. And for you white belts out there, if you get to find mentors who go down to your level and challenge you just enough, that to me is priceless. So I appreciate you guys with doing that. So in my position, to make it uber personal, and hopefully for you who's listening or watching can find some personality behind it, I am oft injured. Okay? Mm-hmm. You guys have seen me through a left shoulder, neck, now the right shoulder. So I need your opinions on this. Is it okay, or is there any detriment to just being a flow roller? So that's the first topic for today. Because there are some minuses to just being a flow roller, right? Well, what would be an example of a minus of just being a flow roller?
Flow rolling. I think there's a lot of benefits to flow rolling.
Okay, let's start with that.
But just a good example is I was talking to Yoshi the other day, and Yoshi back to the Sunday trainings, and I asked him like, who's coming in these days, and he says he gets his visitor named Aaron, right? And Yoshi's for the longest time Aaron was the guy. Like, he just has nothing but nice things to say about Aaron. When I rolled with him, I don't know if you rolled with him.
Oh, he's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah,
and Yoshi, I guess, made it his mission to at least progress against a guy like Aaron, because Yoshi's also a black belt, and he said the reason he's always he doesn't do well against Aaron is because Aaron has his grips, everything that is calculated. It's always pre-drilled into his system, whereas Yoshi is more of a flow roll. Right. If you get to a side mount, he's going to just take your arm. But yeah, he has this side mount bottom attack that it's traumatizing for anyone who's experienced it. I've seen him tap world champion with that. So a young kid, I don't want to mention the name. He came to our gym, and Yoshi tapped him out with that. I was like, wow. So
ASAP. How quickly did Yoshi?
It's just during the roll. And
okay.
Then, he got the tap, and then, but still, like Yoshi's. I don't know if the listeners know, but Yoshi is 70 in his 70s, and he is. He doesn't. Don't get fooled by his age. If you ever man.
Yeah. Half Japanese, half Korean guy, right?
Oh, he's full Japanese.
Full Japanese.
I'm the half, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, but he was saying, back to the flow roll thing. He's saying that he wished that he realized that he's more of a flow roller, and that he wished that he had like a system, and that made me think. You kind of need a bit of both, I think, to enjoy, like to fully enjoy jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Be able to flow roll when you want to have fun, like the chill kill style, or just be like a competitive mindset where I have to make my grips, fight for my grips, stay on top no matter what. And to me, like there's enjoy. You can enjoy both of those aspects of jiu-jitsu.
It's funny. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
It's almost like Aaron's system, in his way, is almost like his flow roll. You know what I mean?
True.
It's
ingrained.
Like, exactly.
It's ingrained.
Because he's so positionally dominant. I mean, that's what he does. As soon as every position he's at, he staples you, kind of like Luke. Mm-hmm. Where you just can't move. You're stuck. But I can see what you mean. Like where Yoshi's coming from. Like if you're just flow rolling and you're going against a guy like that, that's a whole different mindset. That's where the
I see. So someone who's ingrained it so much that it feels like they're just flow rolling.
Right.
I see.
Yeah.
So where do you stand? It seems like there's a percentage break for me. Back to me. As far as for breaking down the flow roll amount versus the competitive, like how would you describe to someone who's in his mid-40s, gets injured a lot, how much of the flow rolling and how much more of the intensive method would you say?
If you're definitely injured, I mean, I'm all for the flow rolling the whole time.
Okay.
I mean, it's great. It's great workout. You're going through the movements. You're not necessarily like hurting yourself or someone else. It's just you're just going through the motions, and it's great, and it's the way it should be, and it's perfect until you
while
you
injured.
heal up. Absolutely,
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when you get that one guy. They're like, hey man, you want to flow roll? And then all of a sudden, halfway through the match, he starts putting his shins in your nuts, right? So you're like, okay, this is a little different deal, man. So yeah, you always got to watch those guys. But flow rolling, I mean, what? Yeah, right. Yeah. But no, flow rolling for sure is if that's what if that's what your deal is, it's still great, and you're still learning a lot.
But do you guys feel that someone who just flow rolls will take a longer time to learn and move up in the ranking system? You guys know I don't give a shit. If I could be a white belt forever, but I could land a teepee on someone, make him vomit on Cahuenga Street after a street fight, I'm with it.
I think you can't have one without the other.
Right.
You have to
Okay.
you have to have a certain level of technique to be able to flow roll. Otherwise, you're just flopping around or just reacting.
Sure.
But yeah, I think the mindset is important. I'm just gonna go. I'm not gonna go 100%. I'm gonna go maybe. I mean, it's relative, but 70% today, and then not fully go out. And if I get in a very precarious situation, I'm going to tap as opposed to fight it out.
Right.
Then that would change. I think that would prevent a lot more injuries. It might bruise some egos, but that's another thing. The ego too. I think it plays slightly into that too. So it's a balance. That's a journey. It's a balance. Some days
Sure.
for flow, I don't feel my best. I'm just gonna survive today.
We could do a whole episode on ego.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I think at this point what I would do is I'd probably flow roll 60%, assuming I'm recovered. 60% flow roll, 40% since I'm oft injured and I get injured quick, go hard with non-egomaniacal higher belts who will also train and guide me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that might be the formula.
I mean, I wouldn't even feel bad if you wanted to flow roll the whole class. I mean, just as long as you're getting your hand positions. If you're let's say trying for the Julio sweep, just getting basic hand positions. Putting it to the crotch, grabbing the belt, just getting and then letting them go, and then trying something else. Nothing's wrong with that. Just it's almost like drilling. Just live drilling. Boom, 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 boom at a slow pace.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thinking I do need to find a lot of solo drills. Because, as we've spoken, I want to go join back Jean-Jacques Academy. But I feel like I need to invest on a dummy just so I can train on my own also and just drill.
I put the heavy bag down in the garage and I put a gi on
I've seen that. I've seen that. Yeah.
It works out great. They're for knee rides, pop up on knee rides, just hand positions for choke and then just keep going around for north-south and all that, side control. Yeah.
Do you have any other things that you concoct like what he did with him?
Well, I made what I don't know if there's a I don't know if you know who Lloyd Irvin is. Lloyd Irvin.
Sure.
Yeah,
Brandon Bear's a black belt instructor.
Yes, and he he made something called the leg lock stick, and I saw a video of it, and I try to to model that, and I have this stick with some towels wrapped over it and newspapers and wrapped up with tape, and I use that to train leg locks, just to build a callus on my wrist.
Cool.
Yeah.
You're going hard in the paint, man. I like that. That's cool. Yeah.
You break those sticks, bro?
They're bendable.
You break those sticks, bro?
I use the big ass broomsticks that the janitors use, and they bend. But yeah,
they bend because you're trying to apply a leg lock on it.
Yeah, I mean that's as far as I haven't broken it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a quick pod as we develop and push.
Okay.
Also, because the next talent's coming into the studio in 10 minutes.
Great.
But BeerJitsu.
BeerJitsu.
Love it.
That's the thing, and we will, to shake it up, maybe talk about IPAs eventually.
Eventually.
We opened up with our diets.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Do you guys have your bios?
No.
Out in the world. We spoke about flow rolling and advice to me.
Right.
And we're going to get the Jiu-Jitsu community just to, roll with us.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Signing off, man.